Hi, Carl. How are you? This is Martin Peter with GetReal.tv.
There we go. Fabulous. Great to be with you, Martin.
Well, thank you very much. I purchased one of your books a little earlier.
Fabulous.
And
read it and enjoy it.
I am going to, and of course, having not read it, I can't ask you questions about the book. But tell us something about this Obamacare legislation. You know, last week the Democrats were saying they could get the votes. As one Republican rep said, if they had the votes, they would be voting.
So sometimes when you try and pass a bill in Congress, you don't get the votes until you actually force the decision. And I think they came to a point where they realized that that was it, where they had a number of pro-life Democrats who said they opposed the Senate version of the bill. And the only way they could find out whether or not they were going to actually vote for it was to force them into a decision. And the same with a number of reform-minded Democrats or budget hawks, the blue dogs, who said, I can't vote for something that's big and expensive and adds to the deficit. So I think they finally just said, look, we've gone as far as we can with the normal means of things. Now we got to bring it down and focus all our efforts on the last dozen or 24 people who are really up for grabs and see if we can get the votes.
Now they're saying they can get it done next week. What do you think?
I think that's a lot of bravado. I don't think they're going to know until they actually start to vote. And they have lost clearly by saying they're not going to negotiate on the life provision. They've lost members. The question is whether they lost 6 or 12. If they lost 12, it's difficult to do. If they lost 6, it might be possible to do. And then the other big thing is going to be once we get the score from the Congressional Budget Office, what will that look at and how durable will that be? Because if they double count a bunch of stuff in there like they did in the Senate one, they double counted. They said we're going to take payroll taxes and count that towards paying for health care, and we're going to take premiums paid for long-term care and count that towards current expenditures of the health care, and we're going to take $370 billion of doc fix, of physician payments, and just ignore it, and that's all obviously going to add to the deficit.
Well, they must be recruiting their accountants from someplace else.
Well, they write the bills in such a way that the CBO is constrained, the Congressional Budget Office is constrained in doing it. But, yeah, it's Bernie Madoff economics.
Exactly. Would this put a lot of his other program potentially in a negative light, such he may not be able to get much done if he does not pass this bill?
Well, I'm of a different mind. I think if a president is adroit enough to say, look, this was a bad bill, and I'm going to turn around and try and do other things, particularly when you got the Congress dominated by, there are 275 Democrats in the House of Representatives and 59 Democrats in the Senate. Those are big margins, and you ought to be able to get things done. And if he were able to step back and say, okay, I'm going to do things in a slightly more bipartisan way, he would get lots of things done.
Great. Listen, thank you very much. And let me just say, as I said to you a while ago when I purchased my book, that I have to congratulate you in that Bill O'Reilly seems to talk over you much less than he does Dick Morris. So congratulations on that.
Wait until tonight, and you see he'll talk over me a lot tonight. Thank you.
Listen, thank you. Take care.